Hi, this is my first time doing lobster tails, so this is what's about to happen. Let's get some light on the subject. You're supposed to split this shell. It's just the tail part. You're supposed to split the shell. And the recommended way is use a pair of utility scissors. I've used them for everything in the kitchen, and I don't want them on my food. So I'm going to use this meat cleaver, and if you have one similar to this, remember the shell is hard and slippery, so it's really hard trying to get the knife on there. So I'm going to use the edge, and see it has a sharp edge here, and it has a sharp edge here. I'm going to use this edge because it's safer. Now what's going to happen, you'll see the difference. I cut this one. You see the meat isn't cut into. Sorry about that. I got to keep reminding myself where the camera is. The meat hasn't been cut into here, but I ended up cutting into it here. See how far down that goes? But it doesn't matter because it's going to happen anyway. So I'm going to take this edge of the cleaver and place it on the shell. The shell, listen, is hard. So I'm going to place it here, like on the hump part, and press down. The shell is really hard, so you're going to have to press hard. So I'm bracing the handle on the cutting board, and I'm pressing here. This edge is going to go in, but I'm going to press the whole blade up here and up here. I want to keep my hand free of the blade. This thing is sharp. I don't use it that often, so it is sharp. And I'm going to, as you can see here, steady. I'm going to steady the tail here so it's not slipping around. I just use this glass type cutting board because I don't want germs to get ingrained in the plastic. And I know you clean the plastic cutting boards off, add a little bleach, but I still say that's okay. So I'm going to hold it here. I want my hand on the blade because I don't want, on the cleaver, because I don't want it to slip and accidentally cut my hand. Slightly steadying this over here so that my hand is away from the blade. I'm going to press down. You're going to hear it crack. You hear it? It's starting. Yeah. Got to use a little more force because this one is a little bigger than the last one. So let me get it over here so I'm not so in the camera. And this made, I'll put a piece of paper towel down so it's not sliding. But I'm going to have to get up over it without knocking the camera over. Once it starts, I just rock it back and forth. So it's cut that part. All of that is cut, as you can see, nice clean cut. And I just need to cut this part up here. So I'm going to bring, excuse me, bring it closer to the front. Really, I can just turn it and it should do the same thing because I'm rocking it forward. If you don't want to cut all the way down, just use enough pressure to cut through the shell. That little piece section right there. The paper towel works good to keep, there it is. It didn't even take much. The paper towel is really good to keep it from sliding. Open, open, open. I think someone calls this butterflying the lobster tail. And then you just pull this out. Almost like crab legs. Separating the meat from the shell. Here, here, here. That comes out really nicely. And like a shrimp, you have this last little piece attached in there. Leave it attached. Close the shell. and lay it on top. So of course you want to wash off your shells before you get ready to do this. And again, it's solid and I really need to butterfly it, open it. So when you cut down, when you use this to cut into the shell, it's quite all right to go ahead and cut the meat, because that's really what you want to do. And I'm going to place it in a pan. And then I'm going to just do the same for these. This little piece, there's a little piece here that holds it. And you just scoop it out. Remember, you're just separating it from the shell, but not the last little piece, so that it holds it while it's cooking. Close your shell and lay it on top. Put that in the pan. And this last one. So that one didn't get cut all the way through, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut through there. In the shell. I'm going to bake them if you haven't realized it yet. I'm going to bake them. And again, pull it down to the tip. Don't take it all the way out. And it's like almost like a translucent type look to it. You're going to do it where it looks opaque, sort of milky like this. Close the shell back, and there we have it, and it's open. It's butterflied, sort of like a shrimp. I'm going to place that in the pan also. Color on my hand. So now I've already prepped my other stuff. Let's get this out of the way. And so I have my favorite, which is biscuits. All right, so what I have done here is I just microwave some butter and garlic and paprika. And I don't like using that silicone brush. It's so greasy all on it. So I'm just going to put a healthy, well, I was supposed to dry these off. So that I guess the butter mixture doesn't run off, but it's gonna run off anyway. So I'm just going to put some on there. For baking's sake, I guess, and to kind of help keep some of the moisture in. I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 5 minutes. Or until it's opaque, the meat looks opaque. And then I'm going to use this and add a little lemon juice to it and see how that works out for some dipping sauce. That's it. This pan has a metal handle, so it works really well. Uncovered in the oven for 5 minutes. Okay, so 5 minutes, and as you can see, it's starting to turn opaque on these edges here. See how the edges are starting to look white and all in here. What I didn't do was I didn't put the oven on the correct temperature. So this was 5 minutes at 350 degrees, and you want to put it on the 400 to 500 degrees temp for your 5 minutes. So I'm not going to, well, yes I am. I'm going to add a little bit more of that butter. Add a little more butter on it with the garlic. And I'm going to place it back into the oven for, it'll probably take the 5 minutes. I'll do the 5 minutes because, as you can tell, I don't want it dried out. And so you keep an eye on it to make sure it's opaque looking like that. All right, so back into the oven on 500 degrees for 5 minutes. Here we are. Now look at that. You see the difference? 5 minutes on 500. Perfect. I'm going to plate this. It's tender, still really tender. I'm gonna put I'm just gonna use, make some butter and a little paprika, the same thing that I brushed on top, butter, paprika, and some garlic, and add some lemon juice to it and use that as dipping sauce. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is it looks done here, and when I lifted it up to plate it, underneath is still a little opaque. That translucent look. See that right there? Not quite opaque. Guess because it sits on the shell. So I just wanted to show you that because this part is done. But I was wondering, how do you know when these are done? With the other meats, you poke it with the thermometer. And so I'm looking here. It's opaque there, but not as opaque as it is up here. That looks opaque all the way on that side. It's just this side, I guess, where it was sitting next to this larger piece here. So I take it it's best that they're sitting spaced out. But I really didn't want them to dry out, because I know if you overcook your seafood, it turns rubbery. So we'll just swap them there. Offset them slightly, and I'm going to put them back in there for about 3 minutes maybe on 500. Okay, now that they're ready, I check the sides. They're opaque everywhere. I'm going to make the little sauce for it. Now I'm going to use the same pan. I was going to use another pan, but I decided since all the drippings are in here from where I baked it, I'm going to use that. I don't want to use too much garlic. That's not even a half a teaspoon. That's enough of that, because I have garlic on the lobster itself. My husband likes a lemon pepper, and so that's what we're going to sort of do here. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a little pepper in there. My pepper's kind of coarse. I have my fire turned down because I don't want to brown the butter. Whoops, way too much. But I won't tell if you don't tell. So that's that. And I'm going to squeeze the lemon in there. If you don't have this, just use the regular juice. And I'm using this because it'll hold the lemons down in that. See where the holes are? I don't want it to burn my butter. So that's why I'm taking it off of there. But this thing holds the lemon pulp, and it also holds the seeds. You see I'm going to do a whole lemon. These are small lemons. And this lemon has a little age on it, but I would prefer, I squeezed some and tasted it, and it tastes fine. Citrus gets old, you can taste it, but I prefer this over the stuff in the bottle. It doesn't really need to be stirred. This burner is still hot, so that's all that's needed. And I'm going to pour it off into this. And use it for dipping sauce. For the lobster tail. That's it. I think it took me longer to prep it than it did to bake it almost. So that's all there is to it. Thanks for joining me. Until next time. That's the garlic bread. Okay, so Here we go. I'll go ahead and take it off the tail. Remember the piece? See that? I already removed the glove. All you have to do is just go back in and pop that open. It's just like a shrimp. It has that little tail on the bottom. Just with your finger and it just comes right out. See that? And it's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. While I'm here, I may as well try it. Just take a little piece. And dip it. I don't care for condiments, to tell you the truth. I think the lemon gives it that nice little change of flavor. My husband's gonna love this. I can taste the flavor of the lobster. This feels tough to me, trying to break it off. It comes off in sections. Again, that butter flavor comes through with the lemon. It feels when you take, you saw me tearing it off, it seems tough, but when you chew it, it's not. It's really tender. All right, so thanks for joining me. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to show a little channel love.